Hi, I'm James, and today we're looking at the 30th anniversary edition of Escape from Atlantis. Now, I used to love this game when my kids were younger, and I saw this one cheap on Amazon and just thought, do you know what? I think it's worth picking it up. So, let's open up the packaging. It's got a very retro type box to it. Quite like that. It's definitely smaller than the edition I used to have. But let's open it up and have a look. So we can get it. There we go. Nice tight fitting box. So we've got the rule book. Well, I say book. It's not exactly a big detailed book. It doesn't need to be. It's only 8 pages, including quick reference guide as well. So it's a nice short game. We have the board. So the board, nice solid mounted board. Looks just the way I remember it. You've then got the pieces. Now the pieces are different to the ones I had in my edition of this. We've got the bolts, plenty of bolts. We've got the various meeples, and notice on these they've actually got different values underneath, which is very important in this game. So we've got 4 sets of these: blue, green, red and yellow. Just looking what the numbers are on them. So we've got 2 1s, a 2, 3, 5, another 1, 3, 6, 4 and 2. So you've got 3 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, a 4, a 5 and a 6. Okay. We've then got some pieces that can either help or hinder. So we've got whales. Now I remember these in my version as dolphins, but they do the same thing. The sea monsters. They're nice solid pieces. I think they're actually wooden, which is a nice touch for the retro feel. And then you've got the sharks. We've got a single dice, and then we have the pieces that make up the island. You've got the beach type pieces. You've got more inland. You've got the jungle part, and then you have the mountain. Now, the version I used to have with this used to have actual plastic pieces, but these are very thick card, and a nice touch. They do still give the staggered effect by having different thickness card. That is quite a nice little touch. So that's what you get in the box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up, and then we'll have a look at how it plays. So this is the game set up. I've had to read through it a couple of times because there are a few subtle differences from the edition I've played. For example, in the centre wasn't the sea monster, but it used to be a big mountain. Other subtle differences include the fact that the layout on the version I played had the big central one, then you had 3 surrounding layers of beach, wood and mountain laid out like that. You could still do that this way in this game, but on this one they're set up completely randomly. What you've also got slightly different is, when I read the rulebook, the whales are actually different. I thought they were basically, these will sink boats but do not damage people. Sharks will kill people in the water but can't damage boats, so they sort of act as a counterpart, but the sea creature can eat anything. The game ending is slightly different in this one there is a volcano tile, and when you find that, it's game over. Now, as I said, each of the figures are numbered, and you look at them when you set them up, but you can't look at them again until the end of the game. So there are some subtle differences. So let's play a turn. We'll start with blue. So blue now, in their turn, their first thing that they do is they can play a card from their hand or a tile from their hand. We haven't got any at the minute to show that, so that will wait. So we can now move the explorers and or the ship tokens. Now explorers, you get 3 points and it costs 1 point to move one area. Once you're in the water you can only move one area. It's the maximum you can move in any turn. And you can obviously get on the boats. The boats move one for everything that's in it, so you actually get a fast move with that. The downside is if you don't have the majority on there, you can't move the boat. It can only be moved by the people who actually have the majority. So we'll do the blue player move. Very simply, we're going to get 3 people onto this boat. Then once you've done that, you remove a terrain tile. Now the terrain tile, initially you have to remove all of the beaches, but they have to be beaches that are adjacent to water. I couldn't remove that one until later on. So, tell you what, we'll sink this one. So that sinks into the sea and we turn it over. Now because it's got a red border, okay, the red borders, as we look on the reference guide there, are played at the beginning of the turn. So what this will do is I can move a shark of my choice already present on the game board to a vacant space of my choice. Well, there's no sharks at the minute, so blue's going to hold that one back until it's their turn. So next of all we've got green. So for green, 1, 2, oh sorry, I missed a part then. Blue then gets to roll the dice to see what happens. And it's a shark. We can move a shark. Well, there's no sharks yet. So green player, 1, 2, and we'll move to their 3. So they remove a tile, and that's a really cruel one to remove because it makes it much harder to get to that boat. Poor yellow's not having a good time. So they get a defensive token that's played outside of my turn. That cancels a shark. There, in fact, the reference guide, there you go. When another player moves a shark onto a sea space occupied by one of your swimmers, you can play this terrain tile to remove the shark from the game before the swimmer's removed. So that's a very useful one. Okay, so now we'll move on. Oh, sorry, nearly forgot again. And we can move a shark. So when we look at the dice, what we have is we've got 2 shark, 2 sea monster, and 2 whale. Sea monsters move 1. Sharks can move, well, up to 1. Sharks can move up to 2, and whales can move up to 3. So now we're on to red. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we'll get 1 onto that one, that one on, and that one on, and then we can remove 1. Let's remove that, making it harder for green to get into the, well, so he falls into the water, and we've now got a green tile which has to be played immediately. So again, looking back to the reference sheet, take a whale token that had been set aside, place it on the sea space that had been occupied by that terrain tile. So that terrain tile now goes back in the box, and there's a whale in there. Now whales don't attack swimmers, so that person is okay at the minute. So that leaves, oh, the dice roll, move a sea monster 1. So I don't really want sea monsters near me there, but let's go towards that blue one. So that now leaves yellow to act. Now yellow can move to there, that's 1 move, but can't get onto the boat because that's a second action, and in the water you can only move once. So we'll do this, move the same there, and let's get somebody onto that boat. Sometimes having a minority share on a boat can be useful because you haven't got to move to get your person to land. So we're going to remove a piece of terrain. Let's go for that one and hope that we can actually get some sort of monster or something. Okay, so it's move a whale. Now we have got a whale, so we could play that now, and I can move it to any vacant sea space. Let's use it so we can see what happens. So we'll move that to there, and then roll the dice. It's a sea monster, so I can move a sea monster 1. I think it's worth closing in on that, trying to sink that one. So we'll do another quick round. So we're back to blue. So blue's got that move of 3, which is looking quite a bit of a problem there. I'm going to have to move. Can't move through the creature because straight away it's going to give me a problem to do that. So we'll move our 3 moves to there. We need to remove a piece of land. Is there anything that would be particularly useful? Let's see if we can get something here. And we've got a whale appearing. So we've got another whale. And then we roll our dice. And we've got a whale. So we can move a whale up to 3. Now, just check something very quickly with that. Yeah, move a whale of the choice. So I can move it to any... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at that bit. What I want to check is, can I split the move? Obviously having one of those, one of the creatures, 1 to 3 spaces. Well, the most obvious thing to do is to move it to there, and we'll sink that boat. So the boat goes over. There are more boats hidden on the island. So that was blue's move. So now we're on to green. Okay. I think one of the options might be to move to there ready to get onto that boat, but then try and get out with this boat. And the problem you have is near all your safe points you do have one of the sea monsters, which is a bit of a problem. So what are we going to remove? Let's remove that one. Okay, and it turns out that is actually a shark appearing there. That could be bad news for green there with that person in the water. So let's roll the dice, and we get a sea monster moving 1 space. Well, let's bring this one out a little towards that one. Okay, so red. Okay, I think you can't move back onto the island, so we'll make that 1. Be really cruel. 2, 3. A lot of this is about backstabbing people. When you're playing games where you're talking to each other and changing what you can do, that becomes real fun. So we're going to remove a piece of island. I don't want it anywhere near where I am at the minute, so let's remove this one. So we've got a dolphin. Now the dolphin, so this is slightly different from how it was played in the later version. One of my swimmers can move 3 sea spaces, and I can play that at the beginning of my turn. So I'm going to hold on to that for now, because it's not the beginning of my turn. So we now roll the dice, and we've got the whale. Now, this is a decision point. Do I try and sink that, or do I get this one away from me? I'm going to actually go for the moving it out the way, I think. And then we're finally on to yellow. So 1 to get into the boat there, and 2, 3. Let's try and make a dash for that there while it's quiet. Now, let's have a look at what we could remove. Now remember, it has to be a piece that's next to an edge, so we can't remove, for example, that one until we've removed all the other land. Well, we're going to have 2, so we'll have an option there, because this one will have these removed, then that one's removable. Let's remove this one, because that's in quite a useful position. And it turns out we get a sea monster movement. Now the sea monster movement, yeah, again can move to any vacant space. So he's now got that one as well. So dice roll. Okay, so we've got the, so it's there, isn't it? We've got the whale. Well, it's got to be done. Let's sink that boat. So you can see how it plays. Don't get too attached to your meeple. They are going to get sunk, eaten, etc., etc. But you can see how the tile removal is starting to change the board. I haven't done much movement on the island. I've been trying to get the ones off the edge first. It becomes tactical as the island starts sinking. For example, is it worth moving this one onto higher ground before that one's removed? Because if that one's removed, I then have to go all the way around. It's going to be very difficult to get there. So there is a lot of tactical subtlety to this game. It's stated that it's for 8+. and I'm going to be testing that with my grandkids very shortly. Designed for 2 to 4 players. There are some special rules for 2-player, including the option to actually have 2 colours each. And it reckons on a playing time of 45 minutes, which from experience is about right.